Is it still worth it to live in Dubai in 2025? I will tell you all about it, and by the end of the video you will learn everything about the cost of living, the culture, the safety, and all the things you need to know before you come, because it is quite important to know what is the status of this country, this city in 2025. So let's jump into my little story. So what are the best and worst things of living in Dubai? So there's a lot of things that people tell you about Dubai, like it's so hot, but as you can see today, it's not even that hot, and it's even getting a bit cloudy. To be honest, it does not happen a lot. It's like one of the first times we see a lot of clouds here in Dubai, but it does not get really hot between like let's say between November and February, where we are now. It's not really that hot here, and it's between 25 degrees max and maybe 20 degrees, so it's perfectly fine weather. And as you can see, it's even a bit windy, so that's really one of the good things. You do have a mix between hot and cold weather. Obviously over the summer it will be very hot. Obviously, a lot of people come to Dubai because it is quite a good place to work. So if you do find the work and you have a good salary, the salaries will be way higher than in other big cities in the world. But the main reason why they are higher is not because of the, let's say, the brute wage, but mainly because of net wage you are left with. So the salary will be way higher because you don't pay taxes, at least if you have left your country fully and you're not a tax resident in your own country. So keep that in mind. One of the key things you need to remember is that the work culture in Dubai and actually in Middle East is quite different than in other European countries. For example, it's more in line with maybe the American style of working, so it's really working hard. And also there's a lot of demand from your client or your work you will be doing. It's a lot of hard work, but again, if you don't pay the taxes, you are really working hard to make money. And that's maybe in general what a lot of people come for Dubai, is they work hard, and also they will make the money and the opportunity they have here, they will use it to maybe go back to another place later on. So it's a bit the saying that they say, so people will maybe eventually leave a certain region here in GCC or maybe even Dubai, maybe when their money is full, if they made the certain threshold, or maybe even when they are like, okay, I want a new adventure, and or they may be sick of Dubai and the whole lifestyle. So that could be one area that you also have to take into account. Culturally, one of the things you should take into consideration when coming here is that, obviously, something I always say is that living in Dubai feels more like the West than actually living in the West, because they are really trying to adapt to a lot of different cultures. Actually, 90% of the people living in Dubai are expats, so you will see way more Western culture than maybe Arabic culture, which is kind of interesting. So I sometimes feel like I'm more in the West than I am in Europe, but it also is a bit too much maybe. You also have a lot of different cultures, which is also nice, but one of the biggest chunks of, let's say, expats coming here are Indians, Pakistanis, so you will have a lot of that influence. A lot of Filipinos are also here, which is also a big influence on the service culture here. So that's one of the things you have to consider, that it is a mix of people, but there are some dominant, let's say, cultures here, which are, if you like that, it's the best thing ever. One of the biggest benefits for sure is the fact that Dubai is so safe. That's something you really forget that you could have as a basic right. Is you need freedom, but you also need safety, and those two sometimes go hand in hand, but not always. And safety here is one of the dominant things that you can see. So it's really one of the best things, honestly, in my opinion. I lost my phone like 3 times, and before I even realized that I lost it, people were giving it back. So it's a very interesting culture to have, a culture of safety. You do need to make sure that you have your life in order when you come to Dubai. For example, you need to make sure that all of the visa papers are in order. Either you have to have the money to put in place some kind of support system, like a third party who does all of the work for you. And there's also obviously the whole healthcare situation, where in European countries, most of the time they would go for healthcare for everyone, but maybe on a basic level. And here they would say, if you have the means and you are working for a company, the company will take care of you, and you will have maybe a higher standard of healthcare than you would have in Europe. To give you an example, in Europe, I know you will need to wait for certain doctors months and months, even years on end. Here you can just make an appointment and you go to the doctor and you will be helped, and it will most of the time be free. And some things are really advanced, like for example, I did an eye surgery and you can't really find competitive prices here. And then maybe other things they will not do because it's not covered by insurance. But that's a mix of things. The main thing is make sure you are financially covered by all of these things when you come here. So that's in general some of the key things you should know about Dubai. One of the worst and the best things you should take into consideration. And that's what makes Dubai so special.